This incident has raised some larger issues related to diversity in the Bachelor franchise. So I want to bring in the hosts of the podcast, Two Black Girls, One Rose, Justine Kay and Natasha Scott, to help break this down for us. Ladies, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So first off, I just want to get your general thoughts on this whole thing. Justine, I'll start with you. What did you think as you saw everything that happened with Kirkconnell and then Harrison's response?
Oh my goodness. I mean, as Rachel Lindsay said, it's been 6 weeks that we've known all of this information. The pictures of her at the party were kind of the cherry on top. So seeing Chris Harrison be so devoid of responsibility while also coming to what he seemed to be like her rescue, while also interrupting Rachel Lindsay and demeaning her at her job all at once was very, very overwhelming and exhausting, to say the least.
Natasha, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to just kind of remember who Chris Harrison is and kind of set our expectations. Chris Harrison, over the summer posted a black square on Instagram showing solidarity for Black Lives Matter and racial equality. He also took that black square down a few weeks later. This is the spokesperson of this show. This is who the franchise put in charge of holding Rachel Kirkconnell accountable. He had one job. It was a very easy job: condemn racism, point blank, period. That was his only job, and he failed. And he failed because he felt some type of way personally, and that really showed his character. And when you fail at your job, sometimes you got to go.
Justine, Harrison is stepping away from his hosting responsibilities, but it sounds like that's temporary. So assuming he is coming back, what would you like to see from him before that happens?
Before he comes back, I would like to see him actually take some action and forward steps in the many areas of his job. He had a conversation at the very beginning of the season with Matt about race that was very vanilla. He didn't really have the tools to have that conversation with him. I'd love to see him gather those tools together. I would love to see him in his Instagram and social media presence, and also all of his other business ventures, get some better diversity training there as well. And before The Bachelorette comes on, to be comforted in knowing that he's going to be equipped and to do the job better, it's going to take a lot more steps than just an apology on Instagram.
And Natasha, we heard in one of those clips Harrison saying that it's not the show's responsibility to speak about all these issues that flare up on social media with all of the contestants, like those controversial photos of Kirkconnell. You're both mega fans of the franchise. You hear from thousands of other fans. What do you think? Should the show stay out of these kinds of issues, or is it their responsibility to speak up?
It's absolutely their responsibility to speak up. I mean, this is not just a lighthearted show about love and relationships. It's a lot deeper than that. And we're talking about media representation and how, if you're going to cast a Black man as your lead, how are we responsibly going to tell his story and his journey for love? ABC has devoid us for 18 years a chance to show millions of Americans, millions of women, white women and white men around the country who watch the show, tune in every week, show an image of a Black man who is just okay. And they gave us Matt James. They gave us this figurehead, so to speak. And yes, diversity is important, but it's useless unless you're not really being a part of the conversation and really making systemic change. So there's no world, especially not in 2020, where you can completely exit yourself from any responsibility to tell Matt James' story or any contestants of color story with some real care, and to completely exit yourself out of social issues that are happening in our very real world.
So, Justine, given that, how significant do you think it is that we have the first Black Bachelor in 25 seasons and that the contestants this season are more diverse than we've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think it is a great thing that we finally have a Black Bachelor. I think the diversity on the show and just the picture of all the ladies is a really beautiful picture of a diverse cast. However, we have to remember that this was a shotgun reaction to George Floyd's murder. This was a reaction where he was announced in June. He did not start filming until October. And so having the knowledge that this was a knee-jerk reaction made it definitely seem like the cost of George Floyd's life for 8 minutes on video seems like the cost that we had to get this Black Bachelor, which is entirely too heavy for us to bear. So it's great and nice to see, but a little too late.
So, Natasha, what would you like to see happen next with this franchise? How do they go about walking away from this in a productive way for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I think as Justine just said, like, it's clear that diversity and just casting more contestants of color is not enough. We need to see some real systemic change within the franchise. Like your spokesperson being equipped to have conversations about race and diversity, be equipped to speak on, if a contestant has a documented history of racism, have the words to explain why that's wrong. I think I want to see more diversity behind the camera, who's the on-site therapist for our contestants of color, to make sure that they feel cared for while they're in this situation, who are the casting directors, who are the producers, just including more leadership of color at the table, because you cannot just have diversity without having real intentional systemic change in how the franchise is going to move forward.
All right, Justine Kay and Natasha Scott from Two Black Girls, One Rose, the podcast. We so appreciate your time today. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.